Boom. Hello out there. I see one person's on. Don't be scared. Identify yourself. Muffled Moose, how you doing, buddy? Howdy, good to have you here. AB, that's not something you see every day. Yeah, Slingshot's kind of a growing sport. I've been at it about 1.5 years. It's a lot of fun. It's a little different. Cool thing is it's quiet. You can do it in town because you're not firing a firearm. It's easier and cheaper than archery. And the neighbors all think you're playing with a toy that Dennis the Menace used to carry around. Probably dating myself with the Dennis the Menace reference. But it's a lot of fun, and the science of shooting these has come a long way in the last few years. Sonny Jones, how are you? I am good. It's a Sunday. The weather sucks outside. It's too windy to shoot, so I came inside. So here we are. I'm in the basement of my church. We have an archery club that meets once a week, and they let me shoot down here since I'm only 3 blocks away. And it's just a lot of fun. I've always liked plinking. I've always liked shooting stuff, but I've always been a city boy instead of a country kid. So I was not allowed or able to have really anything to shoot. And here we are with a slingshot, having a good time. Good morning from Japan. It's good evening from here. Actually, it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon here. I am in the United States, in the state of Wisconsin, right smack in the middle of the country, about 2.5 hours north of Chicago, an hour north of the Illinois border. But it's cool to see people from all over. We've had them from all kind of places. So I had somebody from Istanbul and Switzerland and Croatia and Brazil and Australia. I hope I can inspire somebody to take up the hobby because it's a lot of fun. That's kind of what we're here for. Plus, I get to practice. I get to hang out with people that might be interested in sling shooting and just have a good time. Nine o'clock in the UK. What am I doing? Eric asked. I am shooting a slingshot, or as people overseas in Europe and Asia might call it, a catapult. They're also called a catapult down in Australia. And that name's kind of catching on here, but here in the United States, we call them slingshots. Too windy. What did that stop David from practicing for Goliath? Yes, that was a different kind of sling. What happens in the wind, and it's a crosswind today where I'd be able to shoot at my house, these bands start vibrating. And when they vibrate, it takes all the energy out of them, and your shots go if they go anywhere. So I'm kind of stuck. I hear over in Asia, I got some Asian people on. I hear in Asia, from what I've seen on video, the Asian folks are huge on slingshots, and there's some real dead eyes over there. They're fun to watch. I just got into slingshots. It's super fun. Rashad Harris said, yes, I agree. I've been in it about a year and a half. I went to my first tournament in March down in Indiana, USA. I competed in the pro division and got 20th place out of 40 plus. So I was very happy with that. Greetings from Sweden. I'm very handy. I'm just playing with a toy that happens to shoot bearings. I'm using 8mm ball bearings. So they pack a punch if they smack you. Rashad, you said you just got into it. How's your success rate going? How's your shooting going? Are you able to accomplish what you want, or are you trying to get better at it? The reason I'm asking is I have a Slingshot Basics playlist on my YouTube channel. And if you watch that, it talks about all the different styles of slingshots, different kinds of shooting, ammo, bands, latex, pouches, anchor point, how to aim, all of that stuff. And if you're still struggling to get going well, it'd be a really good way to start and get you on target. So give that a check out if you haven't seen it already. Larry said hi. Letitia said hi. Lots of people said hi. Crossbow from car suspension leaf spring. Yep. We actually have some bows here. This is an archery range in the basement of my church, and we have a shooting club that the high schoolers can compete in tournaments, and we got a bunch of Genesis tournament bows over there. You just got a 500-piece bag of marbles. Whew. I've never shot marbles. Them things are big, man. But you go hunting with those, they'll take something down pretty darn quick. So yeah, marbles are cool. I just haven't shot any. I prefer the smaller bands and smaller ammo because I'm not super strong. I do a desk job all day, so I'm not like a manual laborer or construction worker that's all muscular and fit. As you can tell, I'm very fit. But anyway, so I've chosen the ones that fire easy. These bands, to pull them back to shooting is less than 6 pounds. And I like that, so I can shoot all day. Got a sling bow too. I'll check out your videos. Yes, I got a sling bow as well. I just got it, and this week sometime, keep an eye on my channel if you're not subscribed. I have a review of the sling bow from Simpleshot. It's called the Hammer XT. I didn't bring it with me. Part of the review, I compared the feet per second it flung the arrow. The Genesis bows that the kids use in competition have a 20-pound pull. It shot about 130 feet per second. My sling bow has about a 18, 19-pound pull, so very close. And I was getting around 110 feet per second. So it's a little slower, and that's probably because there's brushes in here that the arrow rests in to hold it level. And as it goes through there with the fletchings, it's got to be slowing it down because there's a lot of resistance there. So yeah, try some different slingshots. I'm one of those folks that I don't want to be a collector and have 20 or 30. I got a friend with, like he said, 42 slingshots. I got 1 or 2 that shoot well, and that's what I shoot because I would rather shoot accurately and impress myself and others than to just pick up random slingshots and not be able to hit the broadside of a barn. So I focused on 90 millimeter forks. This is an Axiom X from Simpleshot. It's one of their pro lines. It's aluminum. All of this stuff adjusts so I can dial it into my hand. And that's my sling of choice. It's my everyday shooter. And that's what I like to shoot. Boom, got that 60 at 10 meters. Yes, hit that like button. Hey, Cody, thanks for popping in, man. I need a moderator. We already got crazy people in here. So you can take care of them now. But all right, thank you. Cody is a great fan, and he's a slinger and an all-around good dude. Found out yesterday he's got a couple motorcycles. If I remember right, are you the right Cody that I saw on Facebook that's whose wife is pregnant with twins? If so, congrats on that. And it's got to be a crazy last couple months for you, man. Somebody said, why do I still work? Because I'm not good enough at this to make money at it. I'm about 4 years from retiring. Coalinga says, hi, I have no idea where Coalinga is, but it sounds like a cool place. That's the one you got. You can't go wrong with the Axiom X. It's a good one. Once you get it dialed in, I had to try different layouts and setups, and once I found one that was comfortable, I have a second one at home that I use as my backup. So if something happens to this one, or if I've got them both with me and the bands break on one, I just pull the other one out and keep shooting. I've got it banded up with some different bands for a different purpose right now, so I don't have it as my backup. It's probably raining, which is why you moved inside to attack the garage walls. It's not raining, but it's blowing at 15 plus miles per hour, which makes the band shake and you can't shoot. So yeah, I can't blow my garage walls, which are pretty safe. I've only hit them one time. I've got a whole archery net back there that will let nothing through. So I'm pretty safe here in the basement, the archery. Whisker Biscuit, yes. I couldn't remember the name of it. There was something else somebody had called it, and I couldn't remember what it was. The Whisker Biscuit. That's what it's called. Commentary Connoisseur. With turkey fletching instead of synthetic, and drag is very minimal. I might try that. I'm not here to try and wow everybody with it. I bought it so I could shoot slingshot alongside the kids in archery. And I'm just using their bows, which are the $5 ones that are recommended by the North American Archery in the Schools program, NASP. I'm a certified instructor for them. And I just use their equipment. I'm not trying to compete or kill anything with it. I just got it for the novelty, and so I could shoot alongside the kids, and I think I will eventually do better because I don't shoot the archery very good. I can teach you how to shoot. I can run a safe range. I can go through all that, but I don't shoot that well. Part of my problem is I have a finger that from here down is where I pull on the strings. I have nerve issues from where I almost cut my finger off one time, so I can't really shoot archery well. If you tried a good old sling, you mean like the shepherd sling like David beat Goliath with? Yes, I have. I have one at home that I made out of paracord, and I suck at it. Every time I throw it, it either goes straight up or into the ground. I know there's a technique to it, but because I live in town and I'm surrounded by houses, I really don't have a safe place to practice it. Although I was thinking I have some wiffle golf balls. I may have to get out in my backyard with those wiffle golf balls because those would be totally safe. So I may have to give it a try because I really want to learn it. Yes, sir. Twins on the way. Everybody congratulate Cody. You go, boy. Your life's about to change. You'll never have a second free now. George Sprav. Yes, I looked him up. Somebody recommended that on another one of my lives. I did go home and look that name up, and he's got some cool slingshots, and he does some pretty cool stuff. And one thing that I saw that he designed a slingshot, and I keep forgetting when it's time to tell somebody about it, I forget his name. But he had a slingshot. When you shoot long draw where you pull it way back here, the bands go through and they'll come back a lot of times and slap your hands. I got little finger protectors that I wear, but he designed a slingshot that the back of it has like a hilt, like for a sword to protect your hand. So it goes from like here down to here, and your hand slides inside of it and protects you from the band slap. And I wish somebody here stateside would try and create something like that. Yes, I know who George Sprav is. That was an interesting search that day. Where do you get the bands? There's lots of places. Amazon has a lot of bands that you can buy. They're not normally the greatest. Sometimes they are. They're sometimes cheap latex. A Simpleshot is the place that I recommend, is one place. This is a Simpleshot frame. See the logo there? I'm a Simpleshot affiliate. Yes, affiliate. If you go down in the description, there's a link to them. You can buy band sets that are already made there. You can buy kits to prepare your own bands. They've got a starter kit that gives you everything you need to build bands, and a roll of 0.5 latex. This is some special latex from a company called Tritium Sling Co. I met the gentleman that runs it at the tournament I was at in March, and I bought a bunch of it because I'd already tried a roll of the pink, and he has pink and purple. And he told me the purple was better for short draw, pink is better from long draw. So I brought them both home and I did a test on them, and I just posted a video about it this week on my YouTube channel. And the findings were very interesting. So I'm gonna have to go watch the video if you want to know what it was. Anyway, there's a lot of places out there to buy the latex. I have the stuff to make my own bands. So I buy pouches, I buy the special elastic string, and I buy the latex. It varies anywhere from about $12 to $20 for a 6-foot roll, which will make you probably 30 or 40 bands easy, depending on if you're shooting short draw or long draw. Long draw needs longer bands because you're pulling from way back here. But it's very inexpensive, and some people hate it. I kind of find it therapeutic in the evening. I like to sit down when my day is over and I've got nothing going on and I can't shoot because it's dark or whatever, or raining. I'll sit down and tie up 5 or 6 bands so I have a set on hand all the time. Good evening from Norway. I have a couple friends from Norway that actually moved back to Norway. Trivia, the little town where I live, Stoughton, Wisconsin, just south of Madison, has the largest Sitten Mai celebration, which is Norwegian Independence Day, May 17th, for those that are curious. They say if you want a bigger Sitten Mai celebration, you have to go to Norway to see one. We have parades on Saturday and Sunday. We have a canoe portage paddle race on Friday. Vendors all over. Our little town of 12 or 13,000 turns into 60,000 for a weekend. It's the biggest event we have in our town. Very much Norwegian. A lot of Norwegian names around here. And they eat that lefse stuff too. Huh? Not for me. James Meadow said hi. Well, hello. Great camera angle for live. Thanks. I appreciate that. I do video for a living, so I'm conscious of what I put out there, trying to do my best. I tried yesterday with my tablet. There's an option on YouTube Live to invite a second person and you'll be side by side. I tried to set my tablet down up there next to the thing and invite my tablet on a different account to log in. Only problem is my tablet's not a really nice one. It's a crappy one. And all it wanted to do was shoot sideways. So to turn it sideways where you could see, it was all distorted. So I just gave up on that. So I'll have to get another cell phone from somewhere and just log in via Wi-Fi, see if I can make it work. When you watch a lot of the videos on my channel where I'm shooting a lot, I have a second camera that I set up right down by the target so you can actually see. And I also have my mic, and I have a mic down there. You can't see it, hanging on the archery target so you can actually hear it too. Put your glasses on next time. These are reading glasses. I couldn't see squat downrange if I put my reading glasses on. Yes, safety glasses are good, and I found one pair of safety glasses that didn't distort my vision as I'm trying to aim, and I lost them at the tournament I was at in March, and I have not replaced them yet. But the general consensus is we're at 10 meters. And if a piece of ammo bounces back, I'm not shooting at anything hard. If I put a metal target down there, it will bounce back. They don't bounce back. If they bounce back, they are all up in front of the targets and they fall out. Every now and then, if something goes awry, one may bounce around the ceiling or something. So as far as safety goes of ammo bouncing back at me, I'm not real worried at this distance. If I get up there closer, like 5 meters, maybe I'll put some on. The other thing is people worry about the bands. The way our bands are set up, they're wider here than they are here. They're narrow. That helps them retract faster. When bands break, they almost 95% of the time, they break right at the pouch and they go away from you. The only time I've had my bands come back at me is when I did not tighten the screws on my clips enough to hold them when I pull back. It's the only time I have that issue. So yeah, it's the greatest thing to not use safety glasses. I want to use them more. It's just hard to find good ones, and they're super expensive to find ones that work compared to the $5 ones. Hold the right and pull with the left. Actually, I'm right eye dominant, and I am holding with the left hand because my phone is backwards. It's mirrored. So I actually am holding with my left hand and shooting with holding the pouch with my right hand, and right eye is what I aim with. I am left-handed, and I used to shoot the other way, this way, but I found out I was right eye dominant and I could hit the target better, so I shoot that way. So in essence, I think it's kind of good that I'm left-handed and right-eyed, because my left hand will be stronger and I can hold the slingshot more stable. You already have 2 boys, Cody, and now you're having twins. Dude, you're glutton for punishment, man. Congratulations, buddy. That is so cool. My wife and I have been married 46 years in December this coming year, and we never had kids. Not that we didn't want them. It just did not happen. And we work with the kids at our church. We love the kids. I used to be a children's pastor. My wife used to be a youth pastor. And kids are part of our lives. We just don't have any of our own. Sometimes that's good. I can feed them chocolate, Mountain Dew, and send them home. Not that I've ever done that. I wouldn't do that, would I? Dang tootin', I would. Are you at church? Yes, I'm at my church. It's in the basement. We have an archery club that meets here called Simpleshot. It meets here on Tuesday nights, and I'm one of the instructors and helpers for that. And I live 3 blocks down the road. And it's too windy today to shoot outside at my house. So they let me use the basement. It's great. I just take that target box, slide it over in the corner, pull my camera down, and I'm out of here. That means I can shoot anytime I want, no matter the weather. So it's awesome. I have an easygoing vibe. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. One thing that I do feel that is a strength of mine is instructing and teaching and helping and encouraging. And that's why I like doing these lives, because a lot of times folks come through that have never seen a slingshot shot with any kind of accuracy, and they ask questions, and I get a chance to stop and engage with them and explain stuff. And I like that. And for all it's good and all it's bad, I got the gift of gab from my mom. Sometimes it's great and sometimes it's not so great. But thank you. I appreciate it. That means a lot to me, because that's why I'm doing these. I just enjoy hanging out with people and helping. I'm guessing he's doing archery. No, I'm not. I'm doing slingshots. But this is an archery range, as I just explained. Jorg Spray. Yeah, I like the way that was spelled, but yes, I think I uncovered that name and realized I was on to the right person. Thanks, Nick. I'm surprising to me there isn't some newfangled fancy cross-linked polymer. Are you talking about materials? This one's made out of aluminum. This one is some kind of really hard plastic. And some people are custom designing, building custom slingshots out of carbon fiber, G10, HDPE. Some people are 3D printing them, and some of their designs are nuts. So there's all kind of different materials they're making slings out of. Saw my father-in-law kill a rabbit with a slingshot when I was young. Still remember that vividly. I hope you're not traumatized by it, because you know that rabbit probably became stew. I've had rabbit chili. It's actually really good. I'm not allowed to hunt in the state that I live in here in the U.S. We're one of, I believe, 17 states that does not allow hunting with a slingshot. So I am not going to be hunting wild animals. I'm not a wild game kind of person. I'm a very domesticated city guy that just likes shooting stuff, plinking. And I live in town, so I can't shoot anything else, but this is quiet. The neighbors think I'm playing with a toy, and nobody cares. Break out a window, that would be bad. It would be actually kind of hard because about right straight down range, there's a big curtain there that stops archery arrows, and it's safe. I can shoot right into it and it won't hurt anything. There is one window way over there I could shoot out. This is my church. If I did that, I would be in a lot of trouble. Do you hunt? No, I don't hunt. It's a good question, but I know people that do. These are very capable of taking down a rabbit, squirrel, if you can catch them on the ground and still, or in a tree, a pheasant or a grouse. Animals like that are very huntable. Birds, doves, quail, very much huntable with a slingshot. These pack the punch. I'm shooting 8mm steel bearings. I'm getting about, with the setup I have, I'm getting about 210 to 220 feet per second. Ammo speed, so yes, it's very much, could be a lethal shot. So yes, they do hunt, but I'm not allowed to, and I'm not really a wild game person, so I'm not going to do that. Where did I get my first slingshot? My first slingshot, I made the mistake that many make. I bought it at a big box store, you know, one of them wrist rocket things that goes over here. Don't go there. The bands on them are really hard to use and hard to shoot accurately. I have changed it over to these flat bands, and it shoots really good now. Then the first real slingshot that I could shoot was then shot okay with and learned a lot with it was a $15 job off of Amazon, believe it or not, a stainless steel one. And has a little bit narrow fork than I like now. And I still got it. And every now and then I pull out it and play with it, or I'll let a kid shoot it. It shot real well. And then that year, that was in 2024, probably around October, November. Then for Christmas that year, my wife asked me what I wanted. So I gave her a list, and it had 3 slingshots from Simpleshot. And she goes, "Really? You need 3 slingshots?" And I said, "Dear, I'm just learning how to do this. I don't know what works. I don't know what's good. I don't know what's bad." So I got 3 slingshots that year. And this is one of them. I use this for a more advanced technique, which I'll do in a little bit, long draw. This is the one that really taught me and got me shooting accurately. And then I had some money laying around one month, and I wanted one of these aluminum ones. This one's cool. You can adjust it, the grip, you can adjust the width of the frame, all kind of stuff. And I've got it dialed into my hand. If you're interested in some of these slingshots, Simpleshot is a great place to start. It's a gateway drug into the whole hobby. They've got everything you need from basic slingshots. I think you can get good shooting slingshots for around 20 bucks or so, all the way up to the expensive carbon fiber and aluminum ones that are around the $120 range. Lots of different options for bands, ammo. They sell lots of fun targets. I've shot through a couple of targets because I just abused them so much. They've just got everything you need to get started, and you can actually buy this in a kit that has multiple bands, the slingshot, some targets, everything you need to get started and get going for a really good price. I can't remember exactly what it is. I'd have to look it up. But if you go to Simpleshot, they will be there. I have a link to Simpleshot down in the description. If you want to follow that link, it helps me out. Hi from the UK. Erica said hi. Hello. Praising King Jesus is here. My buddy Dallas the Knife Nut. Hey, buddy. Is this in your house? No. This is the basement of my church. We have an archery club that meets here once a week, and I work with that on Tuesday nights. But when the weather's bad at my house, they let me shoot here. So I've just got that's just a storage bin down there is all that is. A few inches off the back, I melted a couple holes with a little torch and a hot screwdriver. Strung some paracord up through there, and I hung like some t-shirts on it to catch the ammo as it hits, and it drops the ammo in the box. And then a few inches in front of that, I hung a couple more strands of wire paracord, hung some targets on it, put some pool noodle on the front, and I got me a great little catch box. Moto G Power at Walmart has dual capture video and slow motion at $99. Yes, I know those things, Barefoot Slinger. Hey, Ron, how's it going? Actually, I have, I've got it here. I just don't have it hooked up. Let me get it. This is even nicer than that. I got this a few years ago. I used to work for a company that did stabilization software and software to take the fisheye out of your action cam. Remember the early days of GoPros and everything was like warped? We made software that took that out. And there was a way to create a profile for every camera. And they would send me all these action cameras, and I got to keep them. And I would have to create these profiles for them to add to their software. And this was one of the nicer ones they sent me. It's a Sony FXV1000. This I have set for my slow-mo videos. I have a series of slow-mo on my channel. Set to 720 240p. So this can shoot 240 frames per second slow-mo. What that allows me to do when I'm editing the video is I can slow it down to 5% of real time and it still looks good. It's pretty cool. I was impressed by the size of the basement. Yeah, it's an old Methodist church that we bought years ago. We're a non-denominational church, and it's pretty decent size. I'm at 10 meters. If I want to practice long distance, you can't see it back there. If I go all the way to the back wall in the nursery, I can get a 20-yard shot out. And before the tournament, I was shooting at a 6-inch paper plate from 20 yards. So it's a great place to be. Be fruitful and multiply. You take that seriously there, Mr. Cody. Mr. I'm going to have 4 kids pretty soon and go crazy. Yeah, there's a lot in the chat. I'm still catching up. All right, let's stop for a minute. You ready to fight Goliath? Is your name David? No. My name is Philip. My brother's named David. This is the kind of slingshot they fought Goliath with. Those are called pan slings or shepherd slings. And I have one made out of paracord. And there's a place where you can buy them. And I want to get one really bad because I really want to learn to throw one of those things. Yes, hit the like button. Thanks. Oh, 55 likes. Look at that. Put some love in that sling and shoot. I've been shooting a lot. All right. How fast can you reload? Hang on to that, Emerald. Just 1 second. Let me get some. Okay. I have this. It was literally a piece of junk. It was on the free table at the tournament I was at in March. It's a pulley sling. What happens is it's got tubes on it, little tiny thin tubes. I put a little tiny pouch on it, and the tubes go down in here, and they stop right there, and that's what holds them. So it's actually for speed shooting, so you can... I have not mastered the technique, but we'll play with it in a little bit if you hang on. That'll be the next thing we do. I just want to get caught up on some of these comments. I cannot reload that fast. At the tournament, we had speed shooting. We had to see how many shots we could hit a 6 or 8 inch gong with in 1 minute. I got 12, and I was thrilled. I was hoping for 6 or 7. The dude that won, Andy Lowe Plinks, if you haven't found him on YouTube, the dude's a beast. He's a machine gun. He hit the target 23 times in 1 minute and even missed a few. That's insane. It was almost like a Gatling gun going off. You'll shoot your eye out. One of the best movies ever. Why are you not allowed to hunt? Because the people in the DNR and the government said no. Could I go out and hunt with one? Probably. Nobody's going to know. But if you get caught, I don't hunt. So, but in Wisconsin, we're not allowed to hunt with a slingshot. I think there's 17 states in the U.S. that are not allowed to hunt with a slingshot. So I just happened to be in one. Alan Williams said hello. Hello, Australian Williams. Looks like Cody's been busy knocking people out of here. That's a wonderful whippersnapper you're plinking with, good sir. I'm channeling my Dennis the Menace today. Hey, Mr. Wilson. I missed. I made one out of wood, and my neighbor has one. he paid $80 for it, and it shoots better with mine than his. That's crazy. Yes, I have this one that I got off the free table at the tournament. And this is an advanced style of shooting I'll probably dive into a little later. If you don't shoot this right, you hit the frame in your hand and it hurts. But this one is just a tree branch. And there was a gentleman there that makes a lot of, we call them natties, just wood branches, wood slingshots. He gave me a bunch for the kids here in our in the ministry I work with, and I'm actually going to be using them in June at a big camp with 200 boys. But he makes all little wood frame ones. And he gave me one. He said, Philip, I know you said online you don't like natural frames, but here, I want you to try this. And so I brought it home and I banded it up, and that little sucker shoots good. Not as good as this one, but it was a great backup slingshot, and I enjoyed shooting it until yesterday. But here's what happened. Yesterday, one of my friends that I took to the tournament with me has like a adopted grandkid that shows up at his house a couple times a month, and he'd been teaching the kid to sling. So he brought him down here, and we were shooting yesterday, and he was using an LT2, one of these, and he just was having a terrible time with it. We tried adjusting band length so he wasn't shaking, and we couldn't find the right, we didn't have time to tune it to the right setup where he was comfortable. I handed him that wooden one with my purple bands on it with the bigger sling. The dude started hitting targets. It was so cool to watch. I gave him the slingshot. So I no longer have a nice natural wood frame that I want to shoot. But yes, frame is, I would say in slingshot world, your frame is 20% of your success. The rest of your success comes from practice, 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 technique, and good bands and pouches. Put those pieces together, you can shoot anything. No, I don't hunt squirrels. Hunting is not allowed in my state. And we actually like the squirrels at our house. My wife feeds them. She goes through a pound of peanuts a day feeding the squirrels. They're like her pets. We don't have a pet, and they're like her little babies. But we also figure if something goes wrong, we got, a couple weeks of food sitting out in the backyard, and they're all fat and juicy. So anyway, nice setup, sir. Thank you. I done a little bit of work to get it here, but I enjoy this. How did you make the profiles? You're talking about the picture, the logon. That's all AI, man. I'm not that talented. I do graphics. I don't do graphics. I do video for a living. And I know my way around Photoshop pretty well. But the AI stuff, it's just so quick, like 3 minutes, and I got a great thumbnail. I love this hobby. Robert Buscelli. Are you one of those crazy dudes that goes out in the deserts and shoots stuff, Robert? There's some guys from Arizona that go out in the desert and they shoot up stuff. And I watched one of their videos, and I can't remember the YouTube channel, but I was laughing the whole time. It was awesome. And you do it in costume. They would like cosplay and dress up as different things and shoot slingshots. And it was a riot. And I just can't remember that. I didn't subscribe, and I don't know what that channel is. Anyway, if that's you, you inspired me. I started a slingshot slow-mo channel or playlist on my channel because of some of the stuff you were doing. I said, that would look really cool in slow-mo. So if that was you, thank you. Anyway, if it's not you, go look that guy up, and if you find it, let me know. Should use a slingshot with a wrist stabilizer. It looks better. The ones you're shooting usually look something like, yes, those ones with the wrist brace are called wrist rockets. And when you buy those at the store, they look mean and they look nasty. But the reason they have that wrist braces on there is because they got these big old tubes on there that are super thick, that it's all your power just to pull it back this far. And your ammo goes, pew. These little bands will outshoot that wrist rocket any day of the week. I'm getting 210 plus feet per second out of this. You will not get that with a wrist rocket. I do have a wrist rocket. I put these bands on it, and it now shoots like a real slingshot. Not to poo-poo those things, because everybody seems to like them and have one, but these shoot the technology with flat bands and the way the latex, this is latex formulated for slingshots, and it just shoots amazingly well. Of course, I missed, but that's because I'm busy talking and I'm not paying attention. There we go. I couldn't do that with a wrist rocket. Hello and greetings from Germany, Adam. I've had a few other people from Germany. Yes, thank you, Cody. Yes, these are way better. Sweden, another person from Sweden. These bands don't require as much force to draw, makes the wrist brace unnecessary. The pull weight on these bands at this length is 6 pounds. That is it. 6 pounds. Wrist rocket, you're talking minimum 20 plus pounds. What state is hunting illegal? For me, Wisconsin, it's illegal. I think somebody told me down Louisiana it was illegal. I don't know. I'd have to look it up again. I did a deep dive into all this when I first got into slingshots, and I believe there's 17 states in the U.S. where you can't hunt with a slingshot. Hey, I got caught up. Woohoo! I only got a couple more shots with a sling. See right there? That's a hole. I'm only going to shoot a couple more times with this. I don't know why I got a hole there. But my band is on its last leg, so I'll pull something else out. No fear. I have more slingshots to play with. It's still shooting good, though. See if I can hit that frog on the bottom. The green thing. Ooh, almost. I got caught up in my comments. Woo, woo. You guys are busy today. Oh, I got him. I just nipped him in the leg. All right. Somebody asked about it. How fast can I shoot? Let's play, shall we? The Louisiana hunt plenty, but never hunted with a slingshot. Oh, hunting's legal up here. Dude, we got so many people deer hunting around this state. We could arm a militia with all the deer hunters in this state. They just won't let you use a slingshot. Do you have other stuff like air guns? I used to have a pump-up pellet gun. I do have a few small guns. I have a couple of handguns. I have concealed carry, which I do sometimes. And I have a 22 for plinking. But I'm not a big gun firearm person. But I do like to shoot stuff. It's just I'm in town. I do have a friend that lives outside of town, has a range built in to his yard. He built it himself. And so we go there sometimes and shoot things up. So I haven't been in a while, and I really need to go again. So anyway, speed shooting. This is hard, and I am terrible at it. But let's try it anyway. So what happens is you get a handful of ammo. And I watched the guy, Andy Lowe, the expert, and you feed it down between your fingers like that. And then the pouch comes over the ammo, and you don't hold the pouch, you hold the ammo. And then as it shoots, you're reloading, and it's a repetitive motion. And I'm not real good at it, but let's see how we do. All right, we're going to try. Let me get my first one loaded up. I'm dropping more than I'm holding. Okay, here we go. I'm not really aiming at anything. I'm just trying to shoot. See how slow I am? Woo! Hit my hand. I think I had 2 in there that time. That hurt. Andy Lowe I'm no threat to Andy Lowe. Now we're getting a rhythm. I'm not hitting anything. But like he said, when you're first learning, focus on just hitting something big to get the motion down, and then let instinctive shooting take over. I don't know how long I've been shooting. Haven't really hit anything, but I'm hitting my target box consistently now. I think I started out with too much ammo in my hand. Didn't get a good grip on that one. 2 more, one more, I dropped them both. All right, that's speed shooting. I suck at it, but it's fun to try. So anyway, that's how it works. You've got this little pouch that always comes back perfect, and you just drop it in your finger, and boom. Part of the problem is speed shooting, they tell you to, normally we hold the pouch like this. They tell you to hold it where you're actually holding the ammo like this. And it's hard for me to do that because I have nerve damage in the tip of this finger, so I can't feel a lot. So what I'm trying to do is hold the ammo like this. Instead of pinching the pouch, I'm pinching on top of the ammo with my normal grip. And that's what slows me down, and I need to work on that particular function. So, how long have I been shooting, and what ammo do I use? Hang on a second. I just dropped a bunch on the floor. Let me grab my magnet quick, and I'll answer your question. Obviously, if I've got a magnet, I'm using steel ammo. Ta-da! There we go. I am shooting 8mm bearings. That's what I've chosen to shoot. The standard sizes are 7, 8, and 9.5mm bearings. For tournaments, those are the 3 that they allow you to shoot. Some people also shoot 11mm, especially for hunting. You got to have some bigger bands, serious stuff for that. I don't hunt, so I stick with the 8. The reason I picked 8 is you shoot 9.5, you have to have a little bit bigger bands, a little bit bigger pull weight, a little bit more work. I'm domesticated. I have a desk job, and so I'm not super strong. If I was like a construction worker or a laborer or worked in a factory, something like that, I may go the 9.5 route. The 8 lets me use a very lightweight band. That, see how easy that is to pull? It's nothing to it. So that's why I use 8mm. How long have I been shooting? Probably about a year and a half. I started somewhere in the fall of 2024. I like air guns because I can shoot in my basement. I can't do that with firearms. Yep. You could do that, especially if you build a catch box that catches your ammo. That would be totally okay. AI actually agrees with the guy shooting in the field. Thanks, Joshua. I'm glad we got somebody on the AI bandwagon out there keeping us in check. That's awesome. It's good to hear that, too, because this stuff has come a long way from the wrist rockets. And if you're curious, go get a wrist rocket and go get one of these and put them up against each other and see what you do better. You're getting good with the speed. What happens is when I started, I had too much ammo in my hand, and all I did was drop stuff. But once I got it down to like 15 rounds or so, I could handle it and pass it up. So now I just got to practice that motion more and practice just getting the shots off. Then I'll start dialing them in. Not that I'm going to beat Andy anytime soon, but it'd be nice to beat 12. What else do I shoot mostly? I do shoot some archery. This is an archery range in the basement of our church. We have an archery club. Sometimes I'll pull a bow out and shoot with the kids. I'm not near about as good as they are. I can teach you to shoot you fundamentals, and I can run a safe range, but I don't shoot archery well. I do have a special slingshot called the Hammer XT from Simpleshot that has a bow attachment or arrow attachment. So I will shoot archery with a slingshot. I'll shoot arrows with a slingshot with the kids. It's just kind of a novelty thing, and I'm starting to get it dialed in where I can compete a little better. I'm still not real good at it, but it's fun. I do have a couple of handguns. I have a shotgun for protection at home, and I have a 22 just for fun plinking with a cheap scope on it. Didn't pay a lot for it, but it's fun to play with. That's really all I shoot and play with because I don't hunt. I'm not a wild game person, although it's very popular here in my state, just not my thing. But I just have always liked shooting stuff. Flat bands have a fraction of the draw weight, easily controlled with just the hand. You are correct. Back to that hunting thing when I was a kid, whenever somebody put a gun in my hands, it was usually a BB gun or a pellet gun. I never got to shoot big stuff. But every time somebody put a pellet gun or a BB gun in my hand, for somebody who had never shot before, I did really well. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's just my parents they weren't opposed to guns, but they didn't do guns and they weren't outdoor people. So I didn't get to grow up hunting or anything like that. A slingshot's good for home defense. That would be marginal. There is the story that's going around from a Michigan kid who had a wrist rocket that chased a robber out of his house when it was just him and his sister at home. But if I hit you with my slingshot in my house, it's not going to do near as much damage as a firearm will. Let's just say that. It might scare you. It might hurt and give you a welt or a bruise. If I hit you just right, I could hurt you pretty bad. But could you use it for self-defense? I would not depend on it for self-defense. But what would be good with a slingshot is to put it in a bug-out bag. I saw a video, one guy I follow on YouTube, the Wooded Beardsman. I love the survival stuff. I'm no good at it. And I don't do that, but I love watching it because if the world melts down, at least I have a resource to go back to and think I know what I'm doing. Anyway, he was showing how to have a bug out bag and a setup ready in case something goes wrong and you need to get out and escape town and get out in the woods and live there for a couple of weeks. And he had a slingshot in his bag and some ammo and everything. And so a slingshot would be a good weapon to have in a bug out bag, but I would not want to do self-defense with it. May work, but get a dog and a gun. Yes, I have I don't know what brand it is. Mossberg, maybe? I don't know. I've got a 20 gauge shotgun with a short barrel or short stock on a sawed off one sitting next to my bed. The smallest one you could get that's legal for home defense. So I have one of those sitting next to my bed at home. But I don't hope I never have to use it. I have knuckle dusters. What's a knuckle duster? Which bows we use? The archery club here is it's a NASP program, National Archery in the Schools program. And they're sitting over here. They're the Genesis 20-pound crossbows, compound bows, not crossbows, compound bows. So that's what the kids shoot, about a 20-pound pull on them. And my bow sling has a 20-pound pull as well. So I shoot with the kids. Yeah, somebody told me about the turkey fletching to reduce friction. I should try and find one at the store and then do a speed test and see if that helps it out. But like I said earlier, I think to your response to a question is, we're just shooting for fun here. The kids are practicing in case they get to go to a tournament someday. And I just like to practice alongside of them. I'm not trying to do anything crazy or special. The 110 feet per second that I'm getting is plenty to shoot from 10 and 15 yards, which is the competition distance. So I wouldn't use it for self-defense against humans, but if you could against small predators, yes, you could use it for that. Yes, that's why it'd be good in a bug out bag too. Not only could you get food with it if you're in the right state. And of course, if the world melts down and you're chased out of town, it's every man for himself at that point. But yes, I have a friend that lives up north of me in the big city of Madison, and he lives out in near a marsh. And he uses a Simpleshot slingshot to chase the coyotes off of his property. He doesn't try and kill them. He just encourages them forcefully to not be there. All right, what I'm shooting now is a long draw. You see, it's different than what I was shooting before. Before I was shooting like this. This has a longer set of bands, so we pull it back farther. This is a more difficult style of shooting, and I'm still learning it. So while I will hit targets, I'm not super accurate at it. I'm getting much better, and I think I'm at the point where I can make a video soon on how to do it. Not that I'm the definitive answer and expert, but it's what I put together from the few pieces of information that are out there teaching long draw and some of the tips and tricks I learned. See, with short draw, like I was shooting before, my anchor point right here, if you're familiar with archery, you know what an anchor point is. That's where my hand always comes back. I don't have an anchor point with long draw. So what I have to do when I pull back, I'm using the same size frame, so my aiming is going to be the same. I have to pull the bands back, and I'll actually touch them to my cheek ever so slightly, and then pull it just slightly away so it doesn't rip my cheek off when it goes by, because I've done that. It hurts. Oh, you crack a coyote near the head, he ain't coming back. I did chase a raccoon off my property last year because raccoons got up on my roof a year ago and chewed a hole in it. It cost me 10 grand to fix. Had to get a new roof. But this one raccoon, he liked coming back, and I chased him down off the roof. I shot him until he came down. Then he got in the tree, and I got a point blank shot at him right smack in the noggin. He screamed and came down and left. Didn't hurt him at all. Them raccoons, I've heard even with a 22, it's hard to kill a raccoon. Raccoons are fun. A lot of people like them. They're cute. But when one gets on your roof and chews a hole this big in your roof, you don't want them on your property, even in town. Of course, it always happens at night. So I'm out there in my pajamas and it's 35 degrees with my slingshot and an ammo pouch shooting clay at this raccoon because I don't dare shoot steel, because if I shot steel and if I don't hit him, it's going to do a lot more damage to my house. Plus, if I miss and he goes over the house, Main Street's 1 block away. Raccoons are tough, good eating too. Yeah, my pastor makes raccoon chili. Okay, people from UK keep coming up with the word mockle-miser. Please tell me what a mockle-miser is. I looked it up one time after somebody talked about it, and when I got home, I couldn't remember the exact spelling of it, so I really never figured out. But this is like the 3rd time on a live somebody from the UK has mentioned mockle-miser. So please, would be awesome. Graham, please, what's a mockle-miser? Mockle-misers, they mockle-mise. Google doesn't even know. Thanks, Barefoot. See, that's the problem I had. You're using a term that it's probably some sort of a slang thing or some sort of a cultural thing, and I don't know what it is. I'm curious because people keep using the word. We got enough likes. We're up to what, 84 likes? Holy crap. I'm going to go hang a can. There's nothing more fun than shooting a can. Barefoot Slinger knows because he's quite the can cutter. So today we're going to abuse a Mountain Dew can. So let me go downstream and hang this up. And then I'll zoom in a little bit on the camera so you can actually see the can. The back is starting to hurt. That's why I keep tweaking it. All right, that'll work. Hey, I broke one of my targets off. Sweet, that means I abused it. All right. You mean downrange? Yeah, downrange. Corey said hi. All right. We're going to shoot with the long draw frame. It takes a while to cut a key with this one. I'm at 10 meters. But then I'm going to pull a different slingshot out that I'm not sure I've ever shot on a live before. It's one I have, but I don't shoot much. I pulled it out yesterday and set it up and started shooting it. So let me zoom in so you guys can see. Give me a second to readjust the camera. You guys don't need to see me as much as you do. The can is hanging down. You should be able to see it once I hit it. When you're learning to shoot a slingshot, once you can sort of hit targets, there's nothing more satisfying than smacking a can. The sound is crazy. Crazy cool. So here we go. Enjoy the sound. I have a mic down there. You should be able to hear it. Does anything sound cooler than that? I mean, be real. I think if you put a big dinner, we got a hole in it. Oop, a little low. Ooh, that was a good hit. Can you guys hear that good? Does it make a good smack on camera for you guys? There is a mic down there hanging on the target. Van shopping. Someone pulled out in front of me Friday night. Whoa, that sucks, Barefoot. I hope you find something good that'll do the trick for you. That's too bad. Oh, got me right there because my mechanics went bad. The first time that's happened in about a week now. Now I'm scared. This is the fun of learning this technique, is you're going to get hit. But it has the potential to really give you some fast ammo. I saw one guy, Coin, saw him doing a live. He put a chronograph up, and he was shooting long draw like this, and he was getting 307 feet per second, which is smoking fast for a slingshot. What is long draw? Long draw, normally, the way I shoot most times, let me step back so you can see, is short draw. That's where I put my pouch, I anchor it on the side of my cheek. My anchor is my jawbone, and we shoot like this. So this is probably, that is the easiest way to learn to shoot. Long draw, as you can see, there's no anchor on my cheek. We start back here, like 90 degrees, and we push out so you can see how much more band we've got. It's just harder to aim because you don't have that reference point for stability on the side of your face from doing that. So it's sort of, I won't say it's a guess. I touch the band to my cheek where I normally anchor, and then I move away just the tiniest little bit. And that keeps the kiss. I don't know if you guys can see it, but little spot right there. It's called the butterfly kiss. We're hitting that sucker pretty good. As I mentioned earlier, I'm not as good at long draw. I'm still learning. I know I can't use that excuse forever. I am much better than I was a month ago at this. I will say that. I'm getting to the point where I feel comfortable that I can call it a skill that I have. I'm just not as accurate at it yet. Shooting high, so I need to move my reference up. There we go. Got the bottom of it. Yeah, Cody's going to need a bus for all his kids. Hey, Sam, how's it going, man? Just wanted to pop in. Well, thanks for coming by. Appreciate it. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Still too windy to shoot outside and have fun at home, so I'm stuck here in the church basement. Trying to cut a can. Yesterday, I was doing one online, and we couldn't cut it. We had it so mangled, but it would just not give up. We abused it really good, though. Hopefully it still sounds good to you guys down there. How often do you go live? Not as much as some guys. There's a couple of guys that go on live every day at like the same time. This is my second one this week. I did one yesterday and today. A lot of it is based on my schedule. I can't give you hard days and times where I go live. The best thing to do is subscribe to the channel, because if you subscribe to the channel, you get notified when I go live. So if you like what I'm doing and like what we're doing here, subscribe and you'll get the notifications. I still work a 9 to 5. I edit video. I record and webcast continuing education. So my schedule, I work every day, 5 days a week. So I'm not able to have the flexibility to just anytime I want pop in. I do like to try and do like at least one live during the week and then at least one on the weekend. So I try and get 2 in a week if I can, maybe 3. This week, I have a meeting tomorrow. I have archery club on Tuesday. Wednesday might be a possibility. Thursday, I have another. We have our boys here for Royal Rangers. And then Friday might be a possibility. So Wednesday and Friday would be the only days this week I may be able to pop on live. I like doing Friday nights. I've had huge crowds on Friday nights. And if the weather will cooperate, I can do it from my house. Boom, we're cutting that sucker. But thanks for asking. I hope that means you're enjoying them. You're subscribed, cool. Turn on notifications. Yeah, usually when you subscribe, it kind of defaults to on. All right, a couple more shots with this, and I'm going to try a different frame that's even harder than this one to shoot. You get a couple more hits with this one, though, and then we'll introduce you to another one. There we go. And Hillbilly, if you're learning to shoot slingshots, go check out the Slingshot Basics playlist on my channel. I go over a lot of the common questions and things you need to know to get started in the hobby. And when you get through all of those videos, you should be able to be comfortable enough to hit a target. Maybe not a tiny target, but should be able to hit a can. Oh, that was a good one. Cans are not hard to hit. They just are fun to hit. Okay, this one. Clan to have. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Thrill Billy, not Hillbilly. All right. I am going to try. You want to make Praise King Jesus a mod? Okay, I can do that. I hope he's okay with it. If he's not, it's too bad. He's a moderator now. Did you guys enjoy that close-up of my face? That was cool. All right, so this is what they call a pickle fork shooter. I don't know the reason it's called a pickle fork shooter, but as you can see, there's no gap for the ammo to go through because it's going to hit. If you screw this up, you either hit the frame or your hand. And trust me, your hand is not friendly to hit. It hurts. So what I'm doing is I'm putting some finger protectors on because sometimes the bands bounce back and slap you. And it just kind of takes some of the pain away. Anyway, the secret to this when you shoot is when you pull back, one of the things we tell you never to do when you're shooting slingshot is tweak your pouch like that with the ammo in it, because when you let go, it creates a bump on your thumb and flings it. So you hit frames and you don't aim well. With this, you tweak the pouch because that extra tension on the top flings the ammo over the top of the frame. And when you get good at it, I've seen guys 40 yards banging on a 30 or 40 millimeter target nonstop and hitting it every time. I'm just still learning it, so I just try and do a few shots every time I shoot. So we'll get a couple shots in and we'll park this one. I actually have a custom pickle frame coming from Josh Hicks. Can't wait to get it. Okay, I'm lined up, and now, I don't know if you can see my hand. I'm going to give it a tiny little tweak. And I shot really high. Shot over the backstop. That's not a slingshot. It is a slingshot. It's just not the kind most people shoot barefoot. But you should try making some of these because people love them. Ron, It's another market for you to tap into, buddy. If you don't know, that Ron, Barefoot Slinger, makes some really beautiful wood slingshots out of, he tries to get rare hardwoods, ones you don't normally see or that are hard to obtain. And they're really pretty. That was closer. Just want to get a hit or two with this one. This one I have the bands intentionally too long, just so I can get the technique practice before I start making them shorter and faster. Because when you're shooting it faster, when the ammo is faster and the bands are shorter, you got less time for your technique to be seen. In other words, it's a lot quicker to make a mistake. The mistakes on this one are painful. So, I'm trying to learn a little looser. I'm at the point I'm shortening the bands up a little bit. I think I cut a ½ inch off of these the other day. Obviously, I'm not hitting the target because shooting high. Okay, I know what to do. I know what to do. Let's do it, Philip. Let's hit that can. Hit that can. Oh, we got it. We just nicked it. We didn't do any damage, but we nicked it. Just tip the corner of it again. A little high. What I'm trying to do now, instead of pulling back and then tweaking, I'm trying to pull back and tweak at the same time to get that as muscle memory. So I don't have to walk through so many things in my head. Oh, that was a good hit. That was a good hit. Boom. See if we can do another one. Oh, too high. I want one more hit, and then I'm going to park this thing. There we go. All right. Now I'm going to pull another slingshot out that I don't shoot that much, and I should shoot more. But before I do, let me zoom out a little bit. Just moderating the riffraff. Thanks, guys. It's much appreciated. I appreciate your work. Let me show you something. This is a teaser. I made a video, filmed a video of this. It's a review of something I picked up. You know I like Simpleshot. No, I didn't get an Axiom G10, but I really want one. I got this off Amazon, and it's the most ridiculous looking thing I've ever seen. I'm just going to kind of give you a little glimpse of it. So I'm going to show you. I did a review on it. It's very interesting. It's a dual axis slingshot. All right, I have the Torque X. This was one of the ones I got as a Christmas present. And when I've shot it pretty well, but lately when I've tried to shoot it, I haven't shot it well. But I restrung it, and I figured out what's going on. I was shooting it pretty good last night, so let's try and finish that can off with this thing. It's got brand new bands on it, so I don't have to worry about them breaking, because my normal short draw sling has a band about to go. But what I did is when I wrapped the bands on here, I made a mistake on this one, and I don't want to undo it, where you can see the band doesn't go all the way to the top. So I was aiming at the top of my slingshot, and I was off. But when I started aiming it using the top of the band, I started getting more accurate. So let me zoom back in a little bit again. I'll try not to cover the target up. You thought that looked neat? It exceeded my expectations, but would I shoot it in the tournament? Who? Anyway, here we go. Let's see how we do. I haven't shot this much. Let's cut that can, boys. Low. shooting low. So I got to move my anchor down. Here we go. Whoops. I got it hung up on top of the string. So I think we need to hit it in the bottom and bring it down. Or hit a target on that one and knock it loose. We might have to go down there and fix it. So praise King Jesus, I just made you a moderator. That means anytime you log on to one of my lives, by default, you're a moderator. I don't want to make too many people a moderator, but I'd like to have 5 or 6. And I don't want it to be where somebody has to be on every time, the whole time. If you need to come and go. All right, let me go fix this can. I know when I watch other guys' lives, I love watching them during the week when I'm at work. If I don't have anything going on, I'll just put them on the side while I'm working. But I don't often I'm very seldom able to watch an entire live from start to finish, or from when I log on to finish. I usually hang out for 30 or 40 minutes and I have something else I have to go do. So anybody that stays on with this one, I appreciate you guys. And I don't know if you guys were on yesterday. The big announcement started. There will be a video coming out early this week and making the announcement. We hit our 1,000 subscribers. Yay us. And I'm having a giveaway. And because half of my subscribers are from my RC and airplane world, I'm not just going to give away a Slingshot gift card. I'm going to give away either a gift card, $50 to Simpleshot, or $50 to Horizon Hobby for flight test if you are one of my RC people. So, to enter, here's what you got to do. First, you have to be a subscriber to the channel. It's only for subscribers. So that improves your odds right there. Second, there's an email address down in the comment section. The email is didiwin2026, DIDIWIN 2026 at gmail.com. What I need you to do is send an email to that address. As of the time I came on live today, I had 1 person entered, so their odds are pretty good right now. Your job is to lower their odds. I need you to give me your full name, your real name, and your screen name, because sometimes when we get on forums or Discord or these lives, you have these cryptic fun names like Mudbug or CG Slings or Barefoot Slinger or Long Draw Perkins. I know those guys. But a lot of my subscribers are kind of new at the sport, and they came through some of these lives. So I don't know you, but I need to know your screen name and your full name. So send me an email. You don't need to add anything else in. I will look at all the emails. Feel free to, make a comment or say something about the hobby or anything like that, but it's not going to help you win because it's going to be a random drawing via computer. But I'm going to draw on Sunday night, May 10th. So you've got about 3 weeks to get your entries in. So you want to get those in, and may the best person win. Right now you got a 1 in 1,100 shot if everybody enters, but I don't anticipate I'm going to have that many entries. But once I draw the winner, I will go to my YouTube channel, because in my analytics page, I can see every subscriber. Whoever's name I draw, your name better be in my subscriber list, or we will go draw another name. And then I will reach out via email, put a few announcements out on the Facebooks to let whoever won know in the appropriate forums. And we'll be done. Then we're off to 2,000. Not sure I'll have a giveaway at 2,000. We'll see how it goes. My next big hurdle is my watch hours, which are growing by leaps and bounds. These lives are really growing them. Oh, we did it. We cut it. Live hours, you have to have 4,000 live hours in a 365-day period. And we're very much on track. We're sitting over 2,500 right now in the last 90 days, or in the last 365. Almost all of that is the last 90 days. So we're on target there. And then I'll maybe be able to make a nickel or two doing something I love. So it will all go back into the hobby or to the channel, improving my production, because I need to update my software and possibly a nice GoPro or something like that. Anyway, we cut that sucker. That was a good hit, that last one. Let me throw this away so I don't hurt myself. I love cutting cans. All right, we'll get a couple more shots. I think we're going to call her a day, folks. 101 likes, 77 people online. Did I win 2026 at Gmail? Yes. I'm going to see if I can pin that. All right, I pinned that. So if you want to enter, it's pinned on the bottom there. I don't have to keep repeating it. For those of you that are new, interested in slingshots, go to my YouTube channel. Find the playlist Slingshot Basics. It will give you all kind of information on slingshot frames, the different kinds. Like this is an ergonomic one, an offset. Give you some information on frames, pouches, latex, how to aim, how to anchor, all kind of information. There's 4 series, and then there's an extra one on how to find your dominant eye, which is an important thing. So there's 5 videos in there, and when you're done with that, you'll be ready to hit a can and be ready to hit targets. And then if you're looking for your first slingshot, I can't recommend enough Simpleshot. This is a Simpleshot frame. It's called the Torque X. I added the paracord just for a little extra grip. Down in the description also is a link for Simpleshot. If you use that, it helps me out a little bit, and I appreciate it. And if you use that link, anything you buy from there, I get credit for. And I make $1 or $2 here and there, make a very small percentage in it. And obviously that's going to all go back to Simpleshot, because I'm going to be buying more Simpleshot stuff. But almost everything I shoot is Simpleshot. I do have that wooden frame. I got that weird thing I showed you from Amazon, which is not going to be an everyday shooter. A lot of what they have is awesome stuff, and it's a gateway drug location for entering this hobby. So make sure to use that link. Oh, if you're looking for your first slingshot, I think the prices are like under $20 for a very basic slingshot like the Scout, designed by Zach Fowler. Very good slingshot. A lot of people swear by that. It's a great little pocket sling, everyday carry. And it's not the slingshot that makes the shooter. It's the technique, it's the practice, and it's the bands. The bands have a lot to do with it, because you have to balance bands to the weight of your ammo. And I believe I discussed that in my basics. But if you're interested, those are the links on my description. Use those. Well, we're doing pretty good for this little old thing that I don't shoot very much. Make sure you're subbed to enter. That's right, because I could draw your name. The Sparrow from Fowler. That's the one I was thinking of. Yeah, the Sparrow. That's a really good one. I've heard a lot of good things. A lot of good things about it. Let me show you this other slingshot. I'll make a couple shots with it. I got it in my backpack. Give me 1 second. It's kind of cool. I got this at the Midwest Spring Sling. It's a little 3D printed thing, and it's called the Sardine. You ready to see it? It's tiny. It comes in an Altoid tin. And I asked somebody about it, and they said, oh, I got one of those. I just put regular bands on it. and I shoot it like a regular slingshot. So I said, okay. So I put regular bands on it. I'm going to try one shot because I don't know if you can see. I think that band right there is about to come loose. I'm going to try one shot for giggles just because it's fun. It's so hard to hold this thing because it's so small. The guy told me to put a loop through there for your finger to kind of make the frame longer. Mine's still a little too long. I need to make it shorter. But anyway, we're going to give this a whirl. I've shot it a couple of times. Let's see what happens. Ta-da! It came off. Guess we're not shooting it. Oh well. Back to the Torque X. That was a fun adventure. That's where safety glasses would be handy because that scares the crap out of you. Going to go eat dinner. Great shooting, Philip. Have a great evening, fellas. Thanks, Thrill Belly. Thanks for popping in. It's another, I think we might have us another shooter in the midst, folks. Thrill Belly seemed very interested. That's why we do these lives. We're trying to bring people into this. I'm not going to call it a hobby. It's a sport. For me, it's a hobby, but it is a legitimate sport. Maybe someday we'll be in the Olympics. Ooh, I got the frog. Yes, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks, Cody. You're like my office manager, Cody. I swear I couldn't do this without you, man. Cody's my office manager. Maybe I should make him my manager and he could book me gigs and get me sponsorships. Cody seems pretty well plugged in. Make me full-time, Cody. I would love to walk up. I won't say I would love to walk away from my job. I have a great job. And I get to do fun things, but I'm getting to that age where I'm ready. A couple more years, I'll be starting to scale back my hours, I think. So I'm hoping this YouTube thing might make me a few dollars and help buy groceries when I get older. Because I don't mind doing easy edits like this. I edit video for a living, so I don't mind doing these. It's just I'm trying not to get myself bogged down in them. Oh, got him. Got the frog. I want to keep videos regular enough to keep the interest in the channel and keep people wanting to be here. So for all you slingers out there, there will be some RC content. I will have some as soon as the weather cooperates. Usually I've already been out flying a couple of times for the year. In the spring. I was out a couple of times when it was winter and it was warm, but the weather next Sunday is supposed to be pretty decent, so I might get out then, and if I do, maybe I'll do a live from the flying field. I got some fun stuff. I know 2 videos I got lined up for summer with the lives and stuff and the channel. You're built for this stuff. I don't know that I'm built for it. I like to talk to people. I like to engage people. I like to have fun with people. There's a dude that I follow. Yeah, I'm at church. I'm a church guy. There's a dude I follow that one of my favorite people to listen to that inspires me. He changed my life about 1.5 years ago. Get a little churchy on you. I'm sorry if you don't like it. He talks about how to find your true identity because everybody is created with a God-given purpose and your gift to the world. And it's a matter of finding out what that is. My wife is a storyteller. Pastor can't make it on Sunday. He calls my wife up. She'll have a message ready within a couple of days. She can fill in because she's a storyteller and she loves to do public speaking. I love public speaking too. My 3 things came out when I did this process to find out what my identity is. I don't have a fancy word for it like storyteller, but the 3 things that came to me that summed me up really well was teacher, musician, and encourager. And I think the teacher and encourager part comes through in my videos. If you guys really want, I'll pull the guitar out one day and sing you some music, but that's my talent for church. But I like teaching. I like making the hard simple. I used to work in tech support. Many years ago, Famous Footwear, you've probably heard of Famous Footwear. I used to work at their corporate headquarters at tech support. And we had these really old registers. And one of the things we had to do, because they died all the time, and we had a stockpile of parts because they were out of production, is we would send a new motherboard out to the stores. And our job was to talk this manager who was afraid to turn the power button on or off through installing a motherboard and restarting the computer, the cash register. So I got real good at explaining the difficult to the layman. So that's something I like to do. LP Outdoor Adventures, what up? What up, LP? Thank you for joining. Not sure I've seen your name around, but evidently people know you, so thanks for watching. Appreciate it. We're having fun. We're shooting a Torque X from Simpleshot. It's not my sling of choice, but my Axiom X is my baby. But I got a ban about the bust on that one, and I don't need any of that kind of drama. You a shooter, LP Outdoors? Oh, it's Cody. I know you, Cody. Yeah, I know you, Cody. Oh, no, I don't. I don't know. Are you yelling at Cody? 8 skater. Wow, back up to 97 people. Dang. You guys missed it. We cut a can in half earlier. Robin Hood, I don't know if I'd go that far. If you want to be a volunteer, you can go out there and I'll try and shoot an apple off your head. I'm not making any promises if I'm going to hit it or not. I did hit that dangly frog down there. Let me zoom in a little bit, maybe you can see the range a little better. I did hit that little dangly frog. That's a great little thing about this sport. That target, that frog, I got a bag of like 5 or 6 of them at the dollar store. Well, it's $1.75 now. And I hung him with a piece of paracord around his neck and his arms, and he takes abuse like you would not believe. Didn't hardly cost me nothing. Anything that is fun to shoot at. Rubber ducks are real popular. Rubber ducks are real popular everywhere. I'm guilty. I got a couple on my dashboard. I don't have 100 of them like some Jeep owners do, though. Oh, got the frog again. It's illegal here in Australia, but I practice every day. Slingshots are not illegal here, but they are illegal to hunt in the state that I live in here in the U.S., which is Wisconsin. An even more fun tidbit of trivia. The city of Madison, Wisconsin, which is our capital, it is technically against the law to own a wrist rocket. You're not allowed to own a wrist rocket in Madison, but you can go to the big Walmart or sporting goods store and you can buy one in Madison, Wisconsin, where it's illegal to own one. So figure that one out. I love the way you spelled illegal too, Webster. Okay, we have been on an hour and a half. We'll hang loose for a couple more minutes, but I'm going to start winding it down. My back's starting to get tired. And oh, I killed that frog. Frog legs for dinner. All right, let's aim at something we haven't shot at much today. Did Mudbug finally make it? Mudbug, how's it going, man? I was wondering if you were going to pop in or not, if you were just neglecting me today. I feel complete now. All right, I'm going to aim at the 40 millimeter. It's the top row on the right, the small one. For you, it'd probably be your left because my camera's backwards. Haven't shot it that much. I've been hitting the easy targets. And we smacked and hammered that sucker. Yeah, buddy. Getting a battery placed. What, on your pacemaker or your hearing aid? Maybe your car. Sorry, I was just, when some of the guys get in here, trash talking is half the fun. I taught a young man to shoot yesterday, had a blast, and he talked about it all the way home with the people he was with. And we cut a can, and he got the last shot that made the can drop, and it was awesome. Even though he was shooting from 5 yards away, it doesn't matter. He was having a good time. And he learned trash talking is about as much fun as shooting. So when the guy that brought him, a friend of mine, was shooting, who's still learning himself, I said, Race, next time he misses, yell, you missed it. So every time the dude would shoot, he's yelling, you missed it. And we were laughing. It was a good time. But anyway, he learned to shoot. How cool is that? And I had a natural wood frame that Trapper Des gave me at the tournament in March, because I don't usually shoot natties, but he wanted me to have one. And I actually kind of fell in love with the frame. I was shooting pretty good with it. It wasn't going to be my everyday shooter, but it was a good second or third. And he was having trouble with what he was shooting. He was on an LT2, but the bands were either too short or too long, and he just wasn't consistent. I handed him that wooden frame, and he started hammering stuff. So I sent it home with him, so I no longer have that frame. How long have I been shooting? I started about the fall of 2024, I would say. So probably about a year and a half. About a year and a half. Learned a little bit along the way. There's a lot of folks out there with some great videos teaching, and I scoured through so many of those videos. From Simpleshot to Zach Fowler to, I hit the 40, by the way. Double D's is another one that gave me a lot of good tips. Those guys especially were probably the big. Jordan Smothers has some good stuff. But those first three I mentioned are the ones that taught me the most, I think. And so I created my own basic series on my YouTube channel playlist, where I took the stuff I learned that I know, and it was a little from this guy and a little from that guy, but it was said in my way with my experience, what worked for me. It's not going to work for everybody, but it's just my way of trying to help someone based on what I know. So if you're interested, check that out. Boom, got the 60. Trying to protect yourself from zombie attacks. No, I don't know. Well, zombies are kind of weird. But can you kill a zombie? I don't believe in zombies. But I wouldn't use this as self-protection against people's self-defense. But it might work against like a coyote or a raccoon or a dog or something like that. But it takes time to pull back and aim. So you're going to have to measure your time based on the time you got left before your attacker gets to you. But what they would go good with that somebody brought up earlier, and then I thought of it, is in a bug out bag. If you have a bug out bag in your car for when society melts down and you need to get out of town, this would be real good. You could, if you were sniping and hiding stealthily, you could, let's just say, influence someone to leave the premises. But it would also be really good for taking down small game. Granted, you can't hunt with one here in Wisconsin. But if you have to use your bug out bag, the world's falling apart anyway, and ain't nobody going to chase you down because you killed a squirrel with a slingshot. Let's just say that. So a bug out bag with a nice slingshot set up in it would not be a bad idea. I got the 50 millimeter that time. Hello from Wyoming. Howdy. cool, Wyoming. From what I gathered, never been there, but it's a beautiful state. I've watched some mountain men on TV from Wyoming. It would sting a little, though. Yes, it would, Soul Havoc. And a good way to scare off predators. I have a friend that lives about 30 minutes north of me that lives kind of in a marsh area, kind of an arboretum sort of place. And he uses a slingshot with clay ammo to chase the coyotes off of his property because they get a little too close for comfort sometimes. So he'll use them to chase coyotes away. I've chased raccoons off of my property in my house. I live in town, so I have to be very careful. I only use clay when I do that. And I chase raccoons away because last year a raccoon got on my roof and chewed a hole this big in the roof. And I had to put a $10,000 new roof on my little house. So raccoons are cute. I'm not going to kill them, but I guarantee when they show up in my yard, they go home with a couple of bruises. My friend nearly took out my eye, and we were having a shootout with BB guns after the first 3 shots, like needles hitting. Yeah, I go on this boys camp every year in June, and last year I took a slingshot and some clay ammo with me, and one of the kids said, "Does that thing hurt if you get hit by it?" And I said, "I don't know, go out there and let's see." So he went out about 60, 70 feet, and I smacked him right in the butt. And let's just say he didn't want to do it again. I like that it's offset for position. Yeah, this is the only frame I have this way. I don't usually shoot it. And I've packed it away for some reason because when I shoot it, I do okay once I get it dialed in. It's just not my go-to. This is my go-to. It's an aluminum frame called the Axiom X from Simpleshot. I just can't shoot it anymore today because you see it's got a hole in the band. And that means the band's about to break. So this is my backup for the day. And I haven't shot this one probably in months. So I'm shooting pretty good with it today. I'm very happy about that. Watching from the UK. We've had some others from the UK on here. Welcome, Jack. Where does one get that? If you go down into the description of this live, there's this link to Simpleshot. If you use that, this is from the company Simpleshot. I think you can see the logo there. Simpleshot. It's backwards probably for you. It's called the Torque X. There's the logo again. And the logo's here. That's predominantly the slingshots I shoot on Simpleshot. They're like an American distributor of pretty much anything you need for slingshots to get you started. You can get base model, entry-level slingshots real cheap for like 20 bucks. And they go up to 120 for that aluminum one. But you don't need that to start. A good, under $50, you can have a nice slingshot. And I believe for like $79.99 or something, excuse me, there's a setup for an LT2, which is this one, with like a full setup to get you started. It has targets and a couple of sets of different kinds of bands and some bulk ammo to get you started and rolling. It's a great place to start, and I could spend a lot of money on there. So if you use my link, it helps me out a little bit financially, and any money I make from that link is going to go right back to Simpleshot because I believe in them. They've done me really well. They've got everything you'll ever need. So once you get really into it, there's people that make custom-made ones out of wood and micarta and G10 and all kind of different materials. Some of them are works of art. Look up RVA catapults online and you'll see what I mean. Those things are like $350. They got Damascus steel cores with epoxy and resin. Oh, they're works of art. I would love to get one, but I would be afraid to shoot it. You can buy a sling with a rail and optic. It's expensive, though. Well, you can buy cheap ones on Amazon with stuff on it. And a lot of times that kind of is overkill for what a slingshot does. I do have a sling bow, Hammer XT it's called, from Simpleshot. And it's got a whisker biscuit in the middle so I can shoot arrows with it. It's got a Picatinny on the bottom so I could put a fishing reel on there. And I could use it to shoot a carp with an arrow, and then I could reel it in. But I'm just using it to shoot archery with the kids. That's why I got it. What other material is good for sling ammo? Okay, these are steel. I'm using 8mm steel balls. The standard sizes for competition for shooting is 7, 8, and 9.5mm steel. There are some people that will shoot 11mm steel. You got to have a bigger set of bands for that. They'd be really good for hunting because you're going to pack a lot of kinetic energy in one of those. Another very popular option is clay. I get my clay from Walmart. I can get a container of 1,500 of them for like $10. And I use those when I go walking in the woods or somewhere I don't want to leave steel, environmentally unfriendly stuff laying around. In my yard in here, I shoot steel because I can just go pick it up with a magnet. Clay, there's some people that shoot ceramic marbles. There's some people that shoot BBs. BBs are a great way to get started because they're very small. They're super duper cheap. And when you're just learning and getting your aim dialed in, shooting those at a big old piece of paper or a paper plate, it's a real good way to get started. Some people have been shooting airsoft ammo, which would also work. And I know if you're shooting outside, they make biodegradable airsoft ammo. So that would be a good one too. What ammo am I shooting? I think I already answered it, LP. I'm shooting 8mm steel. A lot of people like the 9mm steel. The reason I went with 8 is because I like to throw myself under the bus. I'm a domestic. I have a desk job. I edit video for a living, so I sit on my butt all day. If I had a labor job where I was like construction or something where it's a physically demanding job, I'd be stronger. With 8mm, you can use a much lighter band to pull back. The pull weight on these is like 5 to 6 pounds. I know when you shoot long draw, like this one here, you can use the smaller bands with a light draw to shoot bigger ammo, and you'll get the speeds out of them you want because of how long the draw is. But I like to shoot mostly short draw, so I'm using 8mm. It's a good balance for me. 7mm, when I put it in the pouch, it disappears and I can't find it when I squeeze it. It actually hurts my fingers. So 8mm is what I settled on. I'd use a rail sling for rabbits and squirrels. Probably not going to, yeah, you're not going to shoot much bigger than a rabbit or a squirrel with a slingshot that you're going to knock one out. You could probably get a fouse or a pheasant or a grouse. You see what I did there? I got my tang tungle. You can probably shoot those or a quail. I know a lot of people control the pigeon populations on farms with slingshots because you're never going to kill enough of them off. But yeah, you could do that. It'd be kind of fun to play with one of them slingshot guns. You've seen one where they put the slingshot in front and it's like really long. I might get one of those one day. It'd be kind of fun. I like the clay from Walmart. Yes, I do. It's pretty round. It's pretty accurate. It's a little bit lighter. The 9.5mm clay is about the same weight as the 8mm steel. So I used to practice with clay all the time at home. The way my target range was set up, it made sense. But I probably got 6,000 or 7,000 rounds of clay sitting on the ground where my old backstop used to be. And the weather's finally biodegraded it, turned it to mud, and it's all mushy and gooey. It's like stepping in dog poo. But it's good because it just turns into dirt. But man, you get that on your shoes, you're going to track it all over the house. If you want accuracy, steel or clay or lead, marbles, clay, airsoft have crappy aerodynamics. Yeah, clay has a more porous surface. Lead will have a very irregular surface. So yeah, there's a chance as they go downrange farther and farther, you're going to get more curve out of them. I know when I would practice at home with clay, when I would do long shots, a lot of times I could literally see them, they would curve. But generally from about 10 meters, which is the basic competition range, the clay is fairly accurate. If you're going to shoot 20, 30 meters out with clay, you very well can get some curves and some weird behavior with them. Do you use the same bands for clay and steel? Yes, I do. They make different size bands. Like 9.5mm clay, they recommend 0.5 or 4.5 millimeter thickness bands. That's what these are. They're 0.45. Simpleshot, they recommend 0.5 for clay and 0.7 for 9.5 steel. And I've shot 0.7. It's a bit of a heavier draw weight for short pull and stuff like that. If you do the long draw, you can get by on a smaller band because you got all this room for it to retract and you'll get the same speed. But yes, Simpleshot classifies their 0.5 as clay bands and their 0.7 as steel bands. That's what it's like stepping in dog poo. Yes, it is. I realized that the first time I shot steel and I went and picked the steel up out of the dog poo. Oh, that was some I had to took them in and washed them out in my sink. It was terrible. Yeah, it was bad. All right, guys, we need to get going. It's pushing 2 hours here. It's coming up on 5 o'clock for me. I've been online for a long time. I need to get going. I need to clean up and get home before my wife wonders what I'm up to. So remember, if you want to enter the giveaway, the email is linked there on the bottom. You have to be a subscriber. I need your name and your screen name. Got till May 10th to get that in. I will be drawing Sunday afternoon or evening on May 10th. You can either win a $50 gift card to Simpleshot, Flight Test, or Horizon Hobby if you're an RC person. So I'm going to sign off. Watch my basics if you're curious about this. If you're looking for slingshot stuff, can't find a better place than Simpleshot. Use that link in the description. The link to my playlist for Slingshot Basics is also in the description. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for hanging out with me, letting me teach a few people stuff. Encourage others, and just say hi to people from all over the world. That's always fun. So thanks, Cody and Praising Jesus, for being my moderators today. You guys knocked it out of the park. You worked your rear ends off, and I much appreciate it, Cody. Thank you so much. And praise King Jesus, too, who was a little late to the game, but he helped a lot. So thank you, guys. I appreciate it. I will see you next time. Till then, keep on slinging. Go get a slingshot and shoot some steel or clay downrange. Bust up a target. Have a good time. And don't shoot your eye or your neighbor's window out. That would be bad. Anyway, we'll see you next time. God bless everyone. Have a great evening. And we will see you next time we're live or on the YouTubes.